a young 24-year-old woman, full of life and promise, stepped into a new chapter far from her birthplace. Energetic, dedicated, and surrounded by love, she pursued her dreams and embraced her family and community. Yet, in a cruel twist of fate, her life would be abruptly taken, leaving a nation in shock. Jastine Valdez was born in Aritao, Luzon, Philippines, the only child of Danilo and Teresita Valdez. During her early years, she was raised by her maternal grandparents, Marcelina and Alfredo Caluza, while her parents worked in Ireland, leaving her under their care. This period instilled resilience and a deep connection to family. In 2013, at the age of 20, Jastine joined her parents in Enniskerry, County Wicklow, residing on the grounds of Charleville House, where her father worked as a groundsman and her mother as a housekeeper. In Ireland, she pursued part-time studies in accounting and finance at Tallaght Institute of Technology and worked at a bakery in Bray. Known for her warmth and sociability, she quickly integrated into the local community. Her relationship with boyfriend Joseph Squire reflected her commitment to loved ones, while friends described her as thoughtful, diligent, and family-oriented. Jastine's life in Ireland was a balance of academic ambition, work ethic, and cultural adaptation, building strong bonds both within her family and the wider community. She was a young woman on the brink of a promising future, whose everyday life of study, work, and connection was tragically interrupted, leaving a lasting impression on all who knew her. On Saturday, May 19, 2018, Jastine Valdez went about her day in Enniskerry and Bray, Ireland. She first attended an appointment at the Garda station in Bray to renew her residency permit. Following this, she visited the gym before stopping at a local shop to buy bread. By 5:40 p.m., she boarded the 185 bus heading back to Enniskerry, arriving around 6 p.m. From there, she began the familiar 15 to 20-minute walk home along the R760 Kilcrony Road. Witnesses later reported seeing a dark-colored SUV following her along the route. At approximately 6:15 p.m., one caller observed a female pedestrian being forcibly guided into the back of a Nissan Qashqai. Minutes later, another witness saw a distressed woman banging on the rear window, prompting immediate concern. Garda patrols and an EC-135 Eurocopter were quickly dispatched to search the surrounding area. By 11:40 p.m., when her parents could not reach her, they reported Jastine missing. Gardaí reviewed CCTV footage from Dublin bus vehicles, which enabled them to identify the vehicle involved in the abduction. The SUV was registered to Mark Hennessy, and investigations traced it to her husband, Mark Hennessy, who had left in the car and had not returned. By 3 a.m., Mark Hennessy was identified as the prime suspect. Gardaí issued public appeals urging anyone with information to come forward and assist in locating both Jastine and the suspect. The events of May 19, 2018 unfolded in broad daylight, leaving the local community in shock and fear. This day marked the beginning of a rapid and highly coordinated investigation, which relied on witness reports, CCTV analysis, and public cooperation to track both the vehicle and its occupant. The suddenness of the abduction underscored the fragility of safety in familiar surroundings and set the stage for one of the most tragic cases in recent Irish history. Eyewitness accounts were crucial in reconstructing the events of Jastine Valdez's abduction. One witness observed Jastine being forcibly guided into the SUV, while another saw her distress from the back window, both immediately reporting what they had seen to emergency services. Gareth Thompson, following the vehicle, noticed a woman in the rear appearing alarmed, waving frantically. These eyewitness observations were vital in alerting Gardaí to the seriousness and urgency of the situation. CCTV footage and witness reports enabled Gardaí to trace the route of the dark-colored SUV from Enniskerry toward Rathmichael, covering approximately 6 kilometers. The combination of visual evidence and first-hand accounts helped law enforcement identify the suspect vehicle and track its movements in real time. Each observation provided Gardaí with leads to locate both Jastine and the perpetrator, ensuring a rapid and coordinated response. The abduction, which occurred in broad daylight along a familiar walking route, shocked the local community. The suddenness and violence of the act contrasted sharply with the everyday safety residents felt in Enniskerry, intensifying public concern. Witness statements highlighted the fear and confusion experienced by those who saw the incident unfold, while also demonstrating the quick-thinking actions of individuals who immediately contacted authorities. Following Jastine Valdez's disappearance, Gardaí launched a rapid investigation. Surveillance operations were established at Hennessy's home, while Gardaí appealed publicly for information regarding his whereabouts. Early evidence suggested Hennessy may have been under emotional stress, with potential drug use and alcohol consumption contributing to his actions. Gardaí considered these factors alongside his personal circumstances to understand the context of the abduction. The investigation emphasized both meticulous evidence collection and the importance of community cooperation in locating the suspect and ensuring public safety. At 5:30 p.m. on May 20th, a public press conference released the full registration number, which led Christine Connolly to recognize the vehicle. She immediately contacted Gardaí, providing crucial information that narrowed the search. Armed units, unmarked cars, and volunteers were deployed to track Hennessy's movements, reflecting a coordinated law enforcement response. The investigation highlighted the speed and efficiency of Gardaí, combining CCTV analysis, eyewitness accounts, and community engagement. Officers worked continuously to identify the suspect and secure any information regarding Jastine's location. The swift public alert and detailed tracking of Hennessy's vehicle underlined the critical role of procedural rigor, surveillance, and rapid response in cases of violent abduction. Gardaí's actions during this phase exemplified both methodical investigation and proactive public engagement, ensuring that Hennessy was identified as the prime suspect in the abduction of Valdez. On May 20th, 2018, Gardaí located Mark Hennessy's vehicle at Cherrywood Business Park. Observing Hennessy, officers noticed him self-harming with a Stanley knife, inflicting cuts on his forearm. Witnesses described him shrugging before continuing to harm himself, prompting immediate concern for both his safety and the presumed presence of Jastine Valdez. Gardaí issued repeated warnings, attempting to access the vehicle and prevent further injury. Believing Jastine was in immediate danger, a detective Garda took decisive action. After careful consideration and repeated verbal warnings, a single shot was fired, striking Hennessy in the shoulder. The bullet caused internal bleeding, leading to his collapse. Medical intervention was promptly initiated, with emergency responders providing treatment at the scene. Despite these efforts, Hennessy was pronounced dead at 8:38 p.m., concluding the immediate threat posed by him. Following the confrontation, Gardaí conducted a thorough search of the vehicle. Inside, they discovered a bloodstained note referencing the word "sorry" and the location Puck's Castle, providing limited insight into his intentions, but no direct indication of Jastine's location. This critical discovery emphasized the urgency of locating her and understanding the sequence of events. The intervention by Gardaí highlighted the balance between preventing further harm, managing a dangerous individual, and attempting to safeguard a potential victim. While Hennessy's death concluded the immediate threat, it left the fate of Jastine Valdez uncertain. Gardaí continued their coordinated search, combining forensic analysis, witness accounts, and local knowledge to trace her whereabouts. This episode underscored both the dangers faced by law enforcement during high-risk interventions and the importance of rapid, decisive action in abduction cases. The confrontation and Hennessy's death became a pivotal moment in the investigation, marking a transition from suspect pursuit to victim recovery while maintaining public safety. On May 21, 2018, authorities focused their search on Puck's Castle in Rathmichael. Gardaí systematically examined the area, checking secluded spots and dense vegetation for any sign of Jastine Valdez. During the search, they recovered her personal items, including her purse and a single sock, which confirmed her presence at the location and helped guide the investigation. At approximately 3:30 p.m., Gardaí located Jastine's fully clothed body, concealed within thick gorse bushes. The scene was secured for forensic examination to preserve trace evidence. A preliminary autopsy revealed that Jastine had been manually asphyxiated, confirming violent assault. The examination also noted bruising and abrasions, including in the genital area, indicating she had suffered physical trauma. Gardaí determined she was killed within 48 hours of her abduction, confirming that her death occurred shortly after being taken. Following the discovery, community support emerged. Outreach Ireland launched a GoFundMe campaign, raising over €150,000 to assist with funeral and burial expenses. Her body was initially placed in repose at a Bray funeral parlor, then transported to her hometown Aritao, Philippines. On July 2, 2018, she was buried according to traditional Filipino rites, known as abuloy, with family and community present. The recovery of Jastine's body provided crucial evidence of the assault and established the timeline of events. Gardaí documented the scene thoroughly, preserving forensic details that confirmed the violent nature of her death and the devastating impact on her family and community. In the wake of Jastine Valdez's tragic death, her parents, Danilo and Teresita Valdez, expressed profound grief while extending gratitude to Irish authorities and the local Filipino community for their support. They described the loss as unbearable, highlighting both the suddenness of the events and the violent nature of her death. Publicly, they emphasized their trust in Gardaí, acknowledging the rapid response and thorough investigation that led to the discovery of their daughter. During interviews, the Valdezes revealed a deeply personal aspect of Jastine's life, an unsent letter she had written to her parents. The letter contained heartfelt expressions of love and appreciation, detailing her hopes for the future, dedication to her studies in accounting and finance, and her commitment to family. Through her words, Jastine's warmth, intelligence, and ambition became evident, reinforcing the profound sense of loss felt by those who knew her. Community support played a critical role in helping the family cope. Vigils were organized in Enniskerry, bringing together local residents and members of the Filipino community to honor Jastine's memory. Donations were made to assist with funeral arrangements and the repatriation of her body to the Philippines. This collective response offered comfort and solidarity, reflecting the impact of Jastine's life on her community and the shared grief that followed her murder. The combination of personal remembrance, public mourning, and ongoing support illustrated the depth of Jastine Valdez's connections and the enduring effect of her loss. Her unsent letter remains a testament to her character, dedication, and the love she held for her family, providing a lasting insight into the young woman whose life was tragically cut short. Jastine Valdez's murder sent shockwaves through Ireland, a country where daylight abductions of young women are exceedingly rare. The community of Enniskerry responded with a candlelit vigil, where residents and members of the Filipino community gathered to mourn. A condolence book was opened at a local venue, allowing people to express grief and solidarity with her family. The crime occurred shortly after the murder of Anna Kriegel, amplifying public concern and prompting calls for governmental reviews regarding femicide and violence against women. Political figures expressed their condolences publicly. Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, alongside party leaders Michael Martin and Mary Lou MacDonald, issued statements acknowledging the tragedy and the need to ensure women's safety. The case drew attention to the vulnerabilities faced by women, and notable community figures, such as John Kavanagh, a renowned martial arts instructor, offered free self-defense classes to women in response. The murder sparked nationwide conversations about preventative measures, social awareness, and the role of communities in protecting vulnerable individuals. In the Philippines, news of Jastine's death deeply affected her hometown of Aritao and the wider Filipino community. Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano publicly expressed sympathy and support for her family. The events were closely followed by her extended family, friends, and local media, creating a shared international sense of mourning. Jastine's story highlighted the transnational implications of violence against women, emphasizing how a single tragic event could mobilize communities, authorities, and governments across borders, while inspiring public discourse on safety, responsibility, and social awareness. The Gardaí Ombudsman Commission reviewed Hennessy's shooting, confirming Gardaí acted appropriately, with no prosecution. Investigators found Hennessy had debts, substance use, and legal issues, and there was no prior link to Jastine, indicating a random act during a drug-influenced episode. The coroner's inquest confirmed death by manual strangulation, noting bruising, abrasions, and trace cocaine. Eyewitnesses detailed the abduction and police actions. Forensic evidence traced the SUV from Enniskerry to Rathmichael. The case highlighted rapid Garda response, detailed investigation, and the tragic convergence of chance, substance abuse, and violence, leaving a lasting impact on Jastine's family and the community.